Hello, this is your shape tween video. You'll see the motion tween file still sitting here. All I'm going to do is do File, New, go ActionScript 3.0. You'll notice that we can have multiple tabs open at once, similar to an internet browser or really any graphics program up to this point. Later in the semester, I might show you we could sort of actually take symbols from the library and put it onto this movie if we thought we were going to sort of reuse stuff. But for now, you'll see basically a blank slate here. Okay, I wanted to just go from on the step-by-step, sort of be able to go to that step 3, create a new ActionScript 3.0 file. Now, shape tween. Shape tween's a little more straightforward. It's more straightforward in the sense that what you're going to notice is that we're going to draw directly on the stage. Okay, instead of inserting symbols into the library and then animating those, we're going to draw onto the stage and then we're going to animate between those two things. Okay, this is, what you're about to see is kind of, it's a little niche, or a little funky in terms of what it does, but there are going to be some instances later in the semester where this skill is going to come in handy depending on what you want to do with your movies. Okay, so I'm going to go to step 4. It says choose the oval tool in the toolbox. We did that last time. And it says click and hold and draw a circle on the actual stage. We can make a circle by holding down Shift. So I'm going to do it'll be a red circle. Okay, I'm going to position that. Okay, and then it says this is going to create a keyframe. There's that keyframe again. The keyframe is just, there's only one frame in this movie right now, and it's just stating that we have a red circle there. Pretty straightforward. I'm going to go up to frame 60 and click on that frame. Okay, and I'm going to insert a blank keyframe. Okay, one other way you can do this is by right-clicking, depending on your Mac or PC. I believe it's Option click on the Mac. I happen to have a mouse with a right click, so I can insert a blank keyframe there. Now, the difference between a keyframe and a blank keyframe is if we were to insert a keyframe, it would bring that red circle with us. By doing a blank keyframe, I want to state that something else is going to happen in that frame. Remember, the keyframes are sort of stating that this is so, and it's sort of a silly phrase, but this is so. I have a red circle on that first frame that lives all the way up to frame 59. Okay, I'm going to state something else, define something else in frame 60, and then I'm going to create the tween in between there. Okay, so it says step 10, draw a rectangle of a different color on that frame. So I'm going to go to the rectangle tool. I'm going to choose kind of a green. I'm going to draw a rectangle. Okay, so now I have two different things. I have red ball, red circle, and green rectangle. Okay, all the way up to frame 59, we have the green, the red ball there, but we need to sort of create this shape tween. So what I'm going to do is, it says choose any frame between 1 and 60. So I'm going to click on any frame, and then it says insert shape tween. Okay, you'll see that the tween turns green instead of the blue of the motion tween, and if we move the playhead, we see that as we tween, and isn't it great that Flash makes up all that information for us from one to the other. Okay, we're going to save this as, and I'll just do this again to review, my first name, last name. Remember, you're writing your first name, last name, not mine. If I had a bunch of David Luke files, I wouldn't know it was yours. So your first name, last name, underscore. Let's not put spaces or anything other than underscores in these. I'm going to go into my Flash, or my folder for this class, and I am going to make sure it says .fla. Remember, we're not typing in .fla, we're just saving this. And then when we choose Control Test Movie, we will get that SWIF, and this is the file that you're handing in. Okay, so there'll be you're handing in stuff into drop boxes. I'll set those up right now. These are the two exercises you have. Pretty straightforward exercises. They're sort of laying the basis for which we do a lot more complicated stuff as we move through the semester. People have been moving pretty quickly through the exercises in past couple semesters, so I'm going to move fairly quickly in the coming weeks to hopefully get some basics down in terms of how to create animated elements. Any questions, concerns, please email me. If you have any Flash issues, please email me. Make sure you organize on your computer. Have a class, have a folder for this class. Have a folder called exercises, have a folder called projects, and really sort of separate these things out. Again, these exercises are the basis, the technical basis from which a lot of other stuff is going to happen. They're easy money in terms of the points. So make sure you hand those in. Everything is due. I release things before 8 p.m. on Tuesday, and everything's due the following Tuesday by midnight. So you should see that Dropbox. Again, any questions, concerns, please email me. Hopefully these first few exercises go well.